how you all doing today, and welcome back to the Minecraft interior design series. In the last video we covered how to make a modern bedroom in Minecraft, and you guys absolutely smashed that like button on that video. So for today's video, let's attempt it, let's be crazy. Let's try hit 150 likes on this video. If you guys can make that happen, that would be just absolutely freaking dope. So I gotta say, credits have to be given with this design. In the last design, me and Arvid built an absolutely beautiful bedroom. In this design, me and Shiv, in under 3 minutes, designed this absolutely sick little office. Just check out this thing. It's just so smart looking. I'm just so happy with how it came out. Now there's a few little things here and there that admittedly aren't world edit free. But I'm going to give you guys options of things that you can do to replace the world edit features, so don't worry about that. It's all going to be fun. So we're going to start right over here. And we're going to start with some cracked stone bricks. Now I understand not everyone has the same texture pack. It's the same scenario with almost every video. So I'd say use stone for this. Stone will look good, or if you have another kind of cool looking, cracked stone, then go ahead and use that. And we're going to bring this wall all the way up to 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks in height, just like so. I'm going to bring this across by 2, and I'm just going to make sure that we get this right. And yeah, there's 2 blocks across here. So you can bring now this part of the wall all the way across. And now what we're going to do is bring this section up right here. Just like so, as you guys can see. So what we're going to be doing now, guys, is we're actually going to be getting out some glowstone. A great way to light up a place is to hide it under something. If you can hide it under carpet where you can, that's a great way. If you can implement cool little features using stuff like end rods, that's another great way of how to hide lighting. Or under anvils, like I'm going to show you today. I mean, this trick, is nothing new in the book. People have been doing this for, ages. But it's still a feature that, is pretty effective. So we're going to use it. So what you're going to want to do is just put the glowstone block all the way across under the dirt right here. Just like so. Next thing we're going to do is get some anvils out and just place them all the way across here. On the front of our office we have a sliding glass door, which is a really cool feature in my opinion. And it kind of slides across the anvils, looks realistic that way. And we've also included some cheeky lighting underneath as well. So it's a win-win situation. So what we're going to do now is just bring this up, so it's going to be 6 blocks in height, the same as the other wall just across there. So one more block, here we go. And then what we're going to do is fill in the back wall. Now for the back wall, what we used diorite. So we're just going to get some of the diorite out. And we also used what used to be the obsidian block, but I now think is the bedrock block. So you're going to want to use, I would say, diorite probably works in most texture packs, so you can use that as a back wall. And honestly, if you don't have a cool looking block like this in your resource pack, either use grey wool or grey stained clay. Either one of them will work really well. So, once again, don't worry about anything, because this build is really universal. And of course, with many texture packs, there's many similar looking blocks. They might not be the same block that looks similar, but you can find, different kind of variations of blocks that would, work in a certain situation. So we're going to put that there just like so. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come in by 1 block, and we're going to bring this guy all the way across. Now this is kind of like a shelving unit, I'd say, like an elevated platform where you can put things on here, like say, like flowers and flower pots, just to kind of make the area look a little bit less grey and boring and a little bit more kind of lively. So what Shiv's done here is he's put a pressure plate. This could be like a laptop just kind of sitting up there. And he's put a little flower pot up here, once again, just to add a little bit more life to the build. It looks very grey and white, it's got them classical kind of modern colours. But you just want to add a little bit of greenery in there if you can, just to kind of make it just look, that tad more lively. I was going to put something else there, but I'm glad I didn't. We're going to come in now by 1, 2, 3 on this side and 2 on that side. So 1, 2, 3, 2 on this side. So I'm going to put this guy down, and then that guy inside, so he's looking all cool. And around the mat right here, as you can see, we have a 2 border of light grey wool. So that's what we're just going to do now. So this just kind of gives the floor, once again, a bit more variation. You know, you can just go with one plain kind of boring flooring material, or you can spice it up a bit. You can have a rug, and then you can have like a surrounding kind of carpet. That way, you know, it just makes the floor look a bit more interesting, a bit less plain and simple. So we're going to be doing this. Now, once again, this is a world edit block. If you guys know how to use resource packs, and what you can actually do if you are mainly just a single player guy is you can actually switch these textures around. So, you know, you don't have to use world edit to actually get these blocks. And, you know, that's pretty awesome. But if you do have the privilege of world edit, this is 100:1. So that's what we're going to be putting down. Just like that, and as you can see, just makes this really sick looking just kind of like rug design. Once again, like gray stained clay would probably work quite well for this, or if you have a really cool kind of looking stony material, maybe that could work as well. I mean, you know, guys, experiment. If you don't have this pack or the ability to use world edit, you know, try and experiment with what you have available. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're actually going to get this player head. Now, I say this in every video because I do get tons of people that are like, yo, Buildz, you know, you got so many player heads on your server with this, you know, head database plugin, but how the hell do I do it on single player? Well, there's tons and tons of really good websites out there that you guys can use that are free and available for you that tell you exactly how to get a player heads in single player, which is super easy to do, by the way. And, you know, what's the like IDs for these player heads? You know, how do you get them? So, you know, don't worry about that either. I mean, pretty much everything that I'm doing here today is doable in vanilla, so you guys don't even have to worry about that. A guy actually told me in the comment section yesterday that apparently there's a different kind of way of using world edit in single player now that allows you to actually kind of use legitimate world edit without even installing a mod. So if you look back through my last video's comment section, you find that guy. That is absolutely dope. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm guessing it's true because he said it, but that is so freaking cool if it is. So what we're going to be doing is, you guys, if you have to use normal world edit, it'll be //fast right now. And then what you could do is just stack this guy by 2. And he'll come up. You guys could probably put 2 black banners down there on the side. Actually, it would have a very similar effect, and it would work in single player. So, you know, no fear. There's no worries right there. So what we're going to do now is just, I'm going to CI this just to make sure my inventory is a bit cleaner. I'm going to get some snow out, some snow rails, some cyan stained glass, never brick stairs, and some detector rails. Now I understand, once again, we come back to that resource pack situation. If I was you guys, I would just use snow for the top. If you can't get my resource pack, you can use end rods for the supports, or black stained glass panes would work fine. And the rails, you know, they're a BCS texture pack feature, so, you know, you would have to do without them, but it is a nice little touch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this guy down here, just like so. I'm going to use world edit to do this, simply to speed up the process. So I just got to make sure I get this 100% right, because I'm not screwing up this. Okay, so there's a space of 3 in between that. So what we're going to do is take out these guys, just like so. Then I'm going to put down a rail here, I do believe. Is it like that? Pretty sure it's like that. Okay, it's flat. Okay, so what you're going to want to do then is just put that like so. Then what we're going to be doing with the front layer is, you guys can actually do this in single player. All you would need to do is do I think it's /give, then your username, then barrier, and this would work in single player. And what this would mean is you can actually put this underneath the blocks like this, guys, if you didn't already know this, and it actually allows you to put snow on top, doesn't it? It doesn't. So you guys would have to use carpet. You know, it's a good thing that I make sure that all these things work, and, you know, all of this is doable for you guys before, you know, we go through with things. Otherwise that would be bad. I'd have a ton of ragey people in the comment section that were very mad at me for doing that. So we're going to use snow rails on the back. Once again, a BCS texture pack feature only, but, you know, it really does help spice up your projects. Just like that. You got that little rail right there, which just adds a really nice kind of sleek texture to the desk itself. And what we're going to do now is just get another brick stair, which is a brand new wooden stair in my texture pack. Shout out to Yugi for making this. He's my dev. He actually retextured the stairs. I think he retextured the oak stair, you know, just to make it look a tad cooler, and he kind of came up with that design. It just turned out absolutely freaking awesome. So, you know, shout out to Yugi for making that happen. Check him out on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. I think he's called Yugi Dev. If he's not, I'll find out and put in my description his real username. So we finally got that guy to spawn. Now this is usually a painting that I see more kind of traditional builders use, but actually if you look at it, it does actually work in a modern environment. So I'm going to try and encourage modern builders to go ahead and use this painting, because you know what, it can work. But this is the other world edit block within this build, and it is actually Pistons. Now this is 33:8. And you guys don't have to use this, of course. If you don't have world edit, don't worry about it. What you can actually use is grey stained clay, and it will look perfectly fine, almost identical to how this looks from the inside. So don't worry about a thing. So we're just going to set this 33:8 just like so. Now on the back here, what we're going to be doing is putting down some glass just like so. And I'm going to show you guys a really cool advantage of using this block right here, this piston block. As you can see, there's a small gap between the glass and the pistons, and it just looks absolutely freaking epic. You know, it's just them tiny little details here and there that really matter when it comes to building. You know, the more and more of these cool little features that you can, you know, try and include within your projects, they really just do make the build look so much cooler. So we're going to be using some glass rails across the top here. Now, this is once again a world edit feature, but don't worry about this. This really isn't that important, but it's something that you can add if you choose to. So we're going to select this. I do believe this is a different ID. So we're going to start with, we're going to see if it sets first of all, because world edit can be a bit temperamental, and no it doesn't, so I know what we're going to have to do. If you guys are in single player world edit, or you're on another server that doesn't have the kind of world edit we have, what you're going to want to do is enable //fast. You're going to want to set this to something like 1. Then over the top, what you're going to want to do is select your 2 points like this. Then you're going to want to go to your glass rail ID, which is 27. That's the number that we're going to start with. And as you can see, it will set normally. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try a bunch of different IDs. So we're going to go to 6, 7, 8. There we go. Okay, so it is 27:8. Now what you can do underneath is you can set this to glass right here, and it will of course bring through that beautiful skylight. So that's what we're going to do. Just going to set glass, and bam, there it is. And a beautiful feature about this is just that, you know, lovely little separation between the ceiling right there because of these pistons and the actual skylight. You know, them tiny little details, they really just do make the difference. So what we're going to be doing now is getting out some brown stained glass paints, or if you can't get these, I would just, you know, recommend normal glass paints. The same with these doors. Actually, if you can't stack doors on top of each other because, you know, it is a world edit feature, once again, don't worry about it. I would just use glass paints for this as well, and they won't spawn on this anyway, so you know, it really doesn't matter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set all of these guys to, actually, can you even do that? You know, there's many different complicated ways around world edit, and I'm not trying to make this tutorial complicated for you guys, because, you know, this is a pretty advanced build. When me and Shiv, we go crazy with world edit, we do like kind of stuff that just confuses most people. We do stuff that, you know, probably would confuse most people if they don't use world edit that regularly, just because of the amount of, you know, freaking world edit involved in this stuff. But what you would need to do if you are using world edit is you need to place a block like this across. You would then need to place on top of this block, make sure you have //fast enabled. That is essential if you're not on our kind of world edit. Then you would need to do this and place them underneath, and then because you have //fast enabled, it won't fall, and you can then put the anvils underneath. But that's the really technical side of things done with the world edit. You know, most of you guys won't have to do that, but for you world edit people out there that want the coolest, sickest result, that's how it's done. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching this tutorial. If you are enjoying this interior design series, please do smack that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell next to the subscribe button. That is absolutely essential. Of course, as always, share some love in the comment section. It's massively appreciated, and let's try get 150 likes on this video. Please do also tell me, what do you want to see next? Because I saw a few people recommend an office in the last video, which led me to making this. But what do you want to see next, guys? Do you want to see something like a living room, like a dining room? I mean, just let me know, guys, and we'll make it happen. Anyway, guys, thanks for the support recently on the channel. It's been absolutely sick, and hopefully I'll catch you on the next upload.